Dev. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, wanted to seek the blessing of Radha Madhava, Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram, Bal Gopal, Jagannath Baladev, Subharamani, Lord Nrsimhadev, Gaunitai, Srila Tulsi Mani, Haridas Thakur, Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. So today I wanted to conclude the pastimes of Kumbha Mela, 8th canto, chapter 11, which is entitled King Indra Annihilates the Demons. So, Narad Muni, being very compassionate to the demons who had been killed by the demigods, forbade the demigods to continue killing. Then Sukaracharya, by his mystic power, renewed the lives of all the demons. So, having been graced by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demigods began fighting the demons again. So, this is after Mohini had taken the um, nectar from the demons and basically given it to all the demigods. So the demigods had renewed energy. Bali came before Indra, who chastised Bali, that with his thunderbolt, Indra will sever the head of Bali. Bali Maj, however, replied, because you are jubilant due to your victory, you should be considered not very learned. You demigods think that your own selves are the cause of your attaining fame and victory. Because of your ignorance, saintly persons feel sorry for you. So these words are actually very powerful words spoken by Bali Maharaj. Very pertinent as well. They apply as much to the demigods as to us as well. We have to be very careful. Sometimes we may get some success in our material or spiritual life, and we become jubilant, and we are thinking, hey, I am the cause of my success. And as soon as that thinking comes in, we can understand that we are actually going to struggle, going to struggle, because we are not the cause of our any success, any fame or victory. That is belongs to the Supreme Lord. We are simply a little instrument, and we have to try to understand that is our position. Because Balima says, because of your ignorance, saintly persons feel sorry for you. So if anybody starts bragging, you often see saintly people will just switch off or walk away because they understand that this person is actually in Maya, thinking he's the cause of his own, success. But actually, the success is due to the Supreme Lord. So this is Balima chastising Indra. Yes, you are now victorious. But you're thinking, you've forgotten who's helped you, the Supreme Lord. One who is undisturbed by so-called favorable and unfavorable circumstances because of the material world is self-satisfied. A devotee carries out one's duty in Krishna consciousness. He is never unhappy in awkward situations. Devotees have full faith that in such circumstances, Krishna will protect them. So, one example we can sort of cite is in relation to the Kumbha Mela. When we went there, this is a little experience from our yatra there this time. We went there in a traveler, like it's a minivan. There was 10 of us packed in with a whole lot of suitcases. And when we arrived near Prayag, there was a 10-kilometer circumference roadblock around the whole city. And we were guided towards the car park. And then we tried to find a way into getting into Prayag and our hotel. And it was very challenging. We tried to persuade the police to let us through, let the minivan through, and one policeman agreed, but another one stopped us, and we didn't get very far. there were electric buses going from the car parks to the um, into the near the Sangam. So we looked at the opportunity of getting into these buses, but it was practically impossible. One, there was a lot of people trying to get into those same buses, and also we had a lot of luggage, and the bus driver told us there's no way he's going to allow uh, these suitcases into the bus. So we were a little stuck. But we were just depending actually on the Lord. We knew that this situation would happen. We had a good idea that it's going to not going to be easy. So we just waited, and we then approached the police again, saying, "Look, this is our situation, and you can see there are elderly people with us. Can you help us?" And by the Lord's mercy, they arranged a special bus for us, electric bus, which can go through without being stopped, most of the way anyway. And we were the only passengers, practically speaking, in that bus. And all our suitcases got on as well. So it was really, we can try to claim the credit that we did it, but we didn't. We know we didn't do it. There was a higher arrangement in place. And it was the Lord's mercy, the Lord's kindness. He I don't know, we haven't got full faith, but devotees have full faith that in such circumstances, Krishna will protect them. We knew something would happen because we've made the effort. So the Lord will make some arrangement. Of course, we don't want to make the Lord work hard, but at the same time, sometimes situations are so hard, and you think, okay, we just surrender and let's see how it unfolds. And yeah, the Lord very kindly makes arrangements. So that was an example. Then Indra did not mind Bali's rebukes because they were truthful. He was telling the truth. And also he had the upper hand. So who cares? Who cares what Bali's saying? Yes, they're true, but now we're in a victorious position. Unfortunately, a little bit of arrogance comes in play, and who cares? Indra released his thunderbolt against Bali, who fell from his airplane. When Bali fell, his friend Jambasura attacked Indra and Airavata. Being beaten by Jambasura's club, Indra's elephant was confused and aggrieved. Thus it touched its knees to the ground and fell unconscious. Matali, Indra's chariot driver, brought Indra's chariot, which was drawn by 1,000 horses. Indra then left his elephant and got onto the chariot. Then Indra cut off Jambasura's head with his thunderbolt. When Narad Muni learned that Jambasura had been killed, he informed Jambasura's relatives, Namuchi, Bala, and Paka, who then went to the battlefield and attacked the demigods. Bala put all of Indra's 1,000 horses into tribulation by simultaneously piercing them with an equal number of arrows. My goodness. Paka attacked both the chariot with all its paraphernalia and the chariot driver, Matali, by fitting 200 arrows to his bow and releasing them simultaneously. Namuchi attacked Indra and injured him with 15 very powerful golden feathered arrows, which roared like a cloud full of water. Other demons covered Indra along with his chariot and chariot driver with incessant showers of arrows, just as clouds cover the sun in the rainy season. Indra, king of heaven, severed the heads of Bala and Paka and released the weapon known as Kulisha, the thunderbolt, against Namuchi's shoulder. The thunderbolt, however, returned unsuccessful, and thus Indra became morose. At that time, an unseen voice came from the sky. The voice declared, "A dry or wet weapon cannot kill Namuchi." Hearing this voice, Indra began to think of how Namuchi could be killed. He then thought of foam, which is neither moist nor dry. Using a weapon of foam, he was able to kill Namuchi. Thus, Indra and the other demigods killed many demons. Then, at the request of uh, Lord Brahma, Narad went to the demigods and forbade them to kill the demons any longer. All the demigods then returned to their abodes. Following the instructions of Narad, whatever demons remained alive on the battlefield took Bali Maharaj to Ashta mountain. There, by the touch of Sukracharya's hand, Bali Maharaj regained his senses and consciousness. And those demons whose head and bodies had been completely lost were brought back to life by the mystic power of Sukracharya. So you can see how powerful Sukracharya is. He is the spiritual master of the demons. When he regained his senses and memory by the grace of Sukracharya, he could understand everything that had happened. Therefore, although he had been defeated, he did not lament. Being a devotee, Bali knew that nothing can take place without the sanction of the Supreme Lord. So he accepted defeat without lamentation. Everyone must execute one's duty as ordained by Krishna or ordered by Guru without regard for defeat or victory or defeat. So this is where we'll conclude the Kumbha Mela pastimes. I just wanted to share something else. We were very lucky. What happened when we arrived on the 13th? We arrived in Prayag at noon, but we didn't get to the hotel till about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. About 4 hours struggling to get in. And then we thought we'd get a boat from the ghat near the hotel, but it so happened that the people, the boat people, took us to a different ghat, which is much further away, and we missed the last boat because after a certain time they don't allow the boats to go because the sun will set and they don't want to take any risks. So we thought, okay, what shall we do now? It was about 5 o'clock. And we thought, all right, let's go and walk to the Sangam. Somebody said it's 8 kilometers or something like that. Anyway, we walked. It was a struggle. All of us walked. And we had some elderly people with us as well. And most of the way we walked. There was a little areas where we were able to get rickshaws for a little stretch, but mostly we walked. And it was very interesting walk because obviously we were at the Sangam. It was very exciting. It was electric atmosphere because so many people were very enthusiastically going about their way to the Sangam. So we got there after maybe it took us an hour and a half or something like that. Quite a long walk. And we managed to get had snan there. And a lot of people, it was quite late by that time, probably about 7:38. And people were sleeping about to sleep on the banks. And I was even thinking, cracky, I'm so tired to go back all that way to the hotel, walking another 8 or 9 kilometers. I didn't really like the idea. So I was thinking maybe I just go sleep on the banks here as well. But it wasn't very practical. Anyway, there were thousands of people on the banks. And there was nice facilities actually. It wasn't on the floors were not very hard. They had sandbags, they had toilets, there was straw, yeah. Also straws was there, keep it soft. Anyway, we walked back most of the way. We walked, and a little bit here and there we managed to get rickshaws, but most of the roads were blocked. So the rickshaws could only go a certain distance. Anyway, that austerity, it was hard because I was tired, everybody was tired. Some we had some elderly people, but the elderly people were more energetic than we were. So that was very inspiring because that kept us going. Anyway, we got to the hotel and then fell asleep, and then next day we decided to, yeah, we got home to the hotel by 11ish, yeah. And then yeah, we had dinner. And then in the morning, we decided, okay, we were thinking of going early, but then we realized there was too much fog. So we thought, okay, let's go a little later. So I think we set off around about 11ish. Yeah, about after 10, yeah. Before that, I had a bike ride with Sanjay. He took me around, which was very interesting to see the different tents and the different bridges and crossing the bridges and seeing the vastness of the Kumbha Mela. Very well organized. Anyway, so from Goghat, we managed to get a boat. Luckily, Sanjay, he went early and secured a boat because there was a lot of people, obviously. This was Makar Sankranti, 14th of January, one of the most busiest days for the Snan. So by the Lord's mercy, he secured the boat, and then it was a very easy ride to take the boat to the Sangam. So it took an hour or so. It's about a 5 kilometer boat ride from where we were to the Sangam. A very beautiful ride, and then we had a very nice snan there. So that was um, really Lord's mercy. It was fantastic. And then we came back and we um, and then we just enjoying the Kumbha Mela and the atmosphere. And the next day we stayed until about 7 o'clock at night. Traveled around the different tents, the Naga Babas. Sanjay got quite close to them. Sorry? Okay, sorry. Yeah. Thank you. Um, so, and then we took the train at Majuli. So that was the experience we had, and I say experience of a lifetime. It was truly wonderful climax to yatra that we had organized. We went to Mayapur before that, to Ganga Sagar, Jagannath Puri, Bhubaneswar, and Ayodhya before that. So it was a highlight. It was the finale, I suppose, finale to all of our yatras to do that. Lord's mercy. We're thankful to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, and also the Supreme Lord for allowing us to be able to do this. So I just wanted to mention that there are a few days in the Kumbh Mela. Every day is important, from the 13th of January to the 26th of February. Every day is very critical and important. But there are a few days which are of particular significance. They're called Sahisnan. Sahisnan means royal bathing. And these are considered to be the most sacred and auspicious occasions on this festival. And a lot more people, a lot more devotees come at this time in order to bathe. So what are these days? And what are their significance? So one is Makar Sankranti, 14th January, sorry, which marks the sun's. Did you start it? Start karo to? No, it didn't. Start with. Okay. It marks the sun's transition into Capricorn. And this is the first Sahisna. Um, Saints and ascetics from 13 akaras lead the grand procession to the Triveni. And that's led actually by the Nagababas, those who are very, very austere in their practice. The next one is Moni's Amavasya, which is 29th of January. So that is the dark moon, no moon that day. New moon, sorry. Is Moni is silent, Amavasya, new moon. So this day emphasizes introspection and silence. It is the second Sahi Snan and the most crowded day at Kumbha Mela. Pilgrims perform tarpan, offerings to the ancestors, and pindan. So we did that as well when we went. We offered tarpan and pindan to the ancestors. And on this day, actually, a stampede took place. But actually, we think that the Kumbh Mela was really well organized. So it wasn't a case of disorganization, but I think there were some nefarious characters who took advantage of the situation and caused a stampede. The third day just passed, 3rd of February, Vasant Panchami is also considered to be one of those most auspicious days. It celebrates the arrival of spring and honors goddess Saraswati. So some people feel that this is actually the third and final Sahisnan day. However, there are other days which are considered very important, and they include Maghi Purnima, which is 12th of February, so the full moon day, and Maha Shivratri, which is the 26th of February, the last day of the Kumbha Mela. And that's the day that Kumbha Mela concludes with prayers to Lord Shiva. So these are like 5 very auspicious days. Oh, every day is auspicious, but these are even more auspicious than normal. So just to give devotees a little idea of Kumbha Mela. Any questions, any comments? Hare
Just
Krishna.
when you see pictures of the people at the Ganges, crowds and crowd of people, do they go at a time into the for the snan and come out? Is there an organized system there?
Yeah, it is quite organized. Generally, they allow the organized groups, like the Naga Baba. They're not organized necessarily, but there's a whole big group of them.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
the
they
first
give
one.
it priority. Yeah, yeah. And then different groups have their times to go.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's quite a huge area. So there's 12 bathing ghats, Jayanti is saying. It's huge. So there's it's easy to get a snan, let's put it that way. When we walked there on the 13th, it was very, very crowded. But again, very easy to go into the Ganga and have a snan.
And do they all once you have a snan, you come out of the same place and then other people go in?
Yeah, same place, and others go in. That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, and you don't take a long time, isn't it? Snan.
Well, that day was a little chilly, so
Okay.
I wanted to stay longer, but it was a bit chilly. You could stay in as long as you want. There wouldn't nobody stopped you. The day after, when we did the boat, we could have stayed there all day. I mean,
All
we
busy.
spent a good half an hour in the water. Um,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
And who is making food preparations for these people? They bring their own or they stay in the tents and they cook there. That's when the explosion happened.
Oh, yes, there was one explosion. That was because of a tank, a gas tank. Um, it's partly government, partly private. Government makes the Yogi government has done fantastic effort, and they started at the last Kumbh Mela because the
Mm.
last Kumbh Mela was organized by actually a Muslim man was in charge of it, which sounds really crazy. But this time, and it wasn't so well organized, but this time it was well organized. There were a lot of private tents as well, and I think this explosion took place in one of the private tents.
Mm.
But the government has made fantastic arrangements, and no casualties apparently when the explosion took place. Yeah,
Yes, no casualties.
yeah.
So, did you have prasadam there?
Yeah, we had Prashad at the ISKCON place. ISKCON and Adani, they got together and they put up a tent and they were serving Prashad all day, every day. Even now, they cook like huge quantities and they're serving free Prashad and it's very good as well. Sabji, dal, rice, puri, halwa. It's a full meal.
This is all my amazing, isn't it?
It's extraordinary, and lots of groups are doing that, um, feeding like anything, not just feeding. This is one of the amazing things. There's also offering different healthcare facilities. They're checking diabetes. They're giving eye tests. They're giving so many other breast clinic is there.
Mm.
So much facility has been provided for the yatris. It's fascinating.
Oh, amazing.
Very well organized.
And is there a way to people go in and they come out at the other end, or is there one way going and coming out, everything?
Uh, it can be one way, but it just depends we went in and then we came out the same way.
Okay.
Um, but they do have they have the whole series of and bridges, which are temporary bridges, and
Yes.
some of them are one way direction,
Oh,
and then yeah.
wow.
Um,
Amazing.
so yeah, it's pretty well managed, good facilities. I mean, they're looking at apparently 400 million people visiting over the 6 week period. That's a lot of people. And on one single day, I think on Makar Sankranti, they were saying there were 40 million people there at that time. That's uh, that's no joke.
Mhm. Was there a lot of walking?
We decided to walk the 13th, because we missed the last boat. So we thought, what shall we do? We've come to the Kumbha Mela, we might as well walk. And at some point, I was thinking, crikey, I wish we hadn't decided this because I was whacked out. But everybody in our group walked, and that was very inspiring. Even we had a couple of few very elderly people, and even they walked, and that was very inspiring. They walked all the way, and there were no complaints. No, my leg aches. I didn't even complain because they
Mhm.
didn't complain. I didn't complain. But inside, I was thinking, crikey, this is hard. But I'm glad we did that austerity of walking, because the next day was very easy. And I think if we had only done the easy, it wouldn't have felt like we had been
Mm.
to Kumbh Mela. It would have
Yeah.
been more like a holiday. But this actually felt like a yatra because there was some self-sacrifice, if you like.
Mm. Excellent. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you, Nariman. I wish you were there with us. I know you were planning, but Lord's mercy, you didn't come because,
Yes, this was it. Lord's mercy, we didn't come.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was the worst. Because we were planning, we were
yeah,
nearly there.
correct,
But
correct.
then, as you say, my brother passed. I don't know what we would have done.
No, you would have come back. You would have had no choice.
Yeah, no choice. Yes,
Yeah.
which have created more chaos for us.
For you, it would have been crazy. Well, we would have been in Mayapur, and yeah, it would have been a little inconvenient for you,
Yeah,
but it would have been a waste of so much
yeah,
Lakshmi.
waste of money and traveling and
Yeah.
hassle. And,
Too much. Yeah, it would have been too much.
yeah, yeah. Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Prabhu, I just want to ask you
Sure,
something
sure.
for curiosity. The water, was it clean where you took
Yes,
down?
yes. Clean. And also, somebody has done some research, I think at the last other Kumbha Mela, and that research showed that the water, and I'm not sure what calculations they use, but the spiritual benefit of the water significantly increased when these special days come, Sahi Snan. And I've seen a video somewhere. I'll try to share that with you, which shows, which gives this little commentary about the scientists who done the work. And the day before, the day of the Sahi Snan, and the day after, it shows a significant increase in the spiritual value of the water. And don't know what calculation they use to calculate the spiritual value, but it is clean. It's very, very clean, actually. Especially when we went on the boat, because at night you can't see very much about the water. But when we went during the daytime on the 14th, the water was very clean, wasn't it? Very clean. And they had boats cleaning the water. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Oh,
Taking the flowers out. Yeah, correct.
okay. Thank
And
you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Ganga is never, thank you, Naniben. Ganga is also considered to be pure anyway, so
Yeah.
there's no question of, even if it's looks dirty, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's an interesting one. I'll share the video and you see what you make of it.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, Kumbha Mela ki jai, Radha Krishna Bhagwan ki jai.